speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. I'm 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 who you with, CurtDog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, CurtDog. I'm who you with, CurtDog. I want to welcome everyone to the show. Happy Monday to you. Hope everybody is having a great day. Man, I thought we was gonna have another Monday like last Monday. Got the storm in early. I said, "Oh Lord, not again!" But luckily, nothing happened. Just some heavy rain. So we here today, 8 p.m. You can live chat with us in the show, regardless of what platform you're on. Please take the time out to like, share, subscribe, even click the notification for whenever we come on live. You can always join us and live chat with us in the chat room. Tonight we're going to be here. Got a couple of stories we're going to talk about. And I'm going to switch these stories around a little bit. Paul Hodgkins participated in the terrorist attack on January 6th. We'll do that story a little bit later. But Lorraine Graves, yeah, yeah, the things people do on social media. So we'll talk about her a little bit, and we're gonna do Ask CurtDog Anything. It's been a while since we done that, so if it's a question you have or something you want to know, ask and I will answer. Only thing I tell you is be prepared for the answer. So, because I'm very honest and open. So let's get it started. So yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, apparently Tulsa County judge had actually issued a warrant last week for a material witness that failed to appear at a preliminary hearing in a March murder case when the Alexander 20th sought for his eyewitness testimony in the March 13 killing of Lorraine Graves. The Tulsa Police Department shared a photo of Alexander online and asked anyone with information of his whereabouts to call Tulsa Crime Stopper. Alexander reportedly told detective he would be at the hearing July the 7th, but failed to show up. Prosecutor wrote in the arrest warrant request that the measure was the only particular way to secure this witness. Lorraine Graves, a relative of the victim who initially gave detective an interview, was subpoenaed for the same hearing. And though she did appear, she told a victim witness advocate that she would no longer cooperate in the investigation, nor would she remember anything she told detective earlier. According to an affidavit for a warrant for her arrest on a murder accessory charge, court affidavit alleged that Gable Hobson, 20, and Jaden Hobson, 19, killed Lorraine Graves, 30, in a shootout at St. Thomas Square apartment. Alexander reportedly was in the room where the shooting occurred and also was struck by gunfire. He told Detective that Jaden Hobson was upset because the woman in whom he was interested in, like Eric Graves, and when the Hobson pulled their gun on Graves, Graves began shooting at them. The Hobson allegedly fired back, wounding Graves. So, with this situation, that's where it get kind of tricky at. Court document also alleged Lorraine Graves effectively facilitated the discarding of a potential murder weapon when she later gave Gabriel Hobson a ride after he had told her about a relative killing to another apartment complex, where he handed off the gun to another man. She also did not attempt to notify law enforcement with the information she had about Eric Graves' death before her family notified detective. The affidavit said. Lorraine Graves was arrested Thursday afternoon and booked into Tulsa County Jail. She is held on lieu of $500,000 bond. The Hobson both face first-degree murder. So, reason why this story is so interesting, and I say, be careful what you do on social media, because Lorraine Graves thought it was kind of funny yesterday. Tulsa, Oklahoma had put they most we got another stream that popped up. Had put up their weekly most wanted arrest after commenting on our post about her. So on Wednesday they posted Lorraine Graves at the weekly most wanted for accessory to murder and the homicide of Eric Graves earlier this year. Shortly after that, Lorraine Graves started communicating on their post, asking about the reward money. And they said about on 7:15 around 4:30 p.m., detective with the fugitive warrant unit arrested Graves in North Tulsa near 36th Street, north of Garrison Avenue. So you have a warrant out for your arrest and you want to ask about the reward money for your arrest? That's not too smart. Welcome to the show, Radio Chaos. Thank you for always tuning in. Yeah, that's not a good look, because you already wanted, but then you turned around, gonna send a message to the police, and this is actually what she said. After they posted it, welcome to the show, Marcella Smith. What's up, my people? It's the People Show. I feel you on that. Thank you for always supporting the show. So after they posted, they was looking for her. She commented, talking about, what? Where's the reward money? And somebody told her, girl, you better stay off social media. They can track you. Ain't gonna be as funny when you get prosecuted. So she ended up getting picked up and going to jail. But hey, maybe we need to start a new segment or something. The dumbest criminals or something. I don't know, because that's kind of strange. You wanted in connection with this murder, since you choose not to cooperate with the police, and you end up going to jail behind it. Then you want to taunt the police about it. So yeah, that's not too smart. But this actually happened last month in July, and it's just now hitting the news because everybody been talking about it. I'm like, this chick had to been high, drunk, or something. A cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. I don't know, but maybe she could use the money for a bail money. I don't know. but it's kind of jacked up. And you asking for bail money. You're famous now. Marcella says she's trying to find out if she turn herself in, would she get the reward money? That's what she wanted, but that's not the way it worked. That's not the way it worked. I know somebody, an associate of mine, years ago. That's probably about 25 years ago. I think one of their family members was wanted, and they showed up in the newspaper or whatever. And she went to them and asked, "Hey, you might well let me turn you in to get the reward money." I don't know if she did it or not, but um, you never know where somebody's mindset is. But they're not gonna give it to you, so nobody else don't try that. Let's not try a trend of stupidity like that. Um, Depends on how much it was, because if it's 500,000 bail, you're gonna need at least 50,000. And bailing her out really not gonna do too much for her, because she's probably gonna do some time for the simple fact she helped get rid of the weapon. So I wouldn't associate my name with it at all. I don't want no parts of it. She might lie and say you was there too. So I don't know, but that wasn't a smart move for her. That was that was literally a cuckoo for Cocoa Puff, and for her to tell the social workers she was working with, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to remember anything. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not going to cooperate with the police." That's uh, that's just kind of crazy. Marcella said, "Trust me, if the reward is more than 100,000, I'm gonna turn her in, but she would not get bailed out. I sure wouldn't. I wouldn't even waste my time. If well, if I seen her and knew where she was, hey, she over there. She over there. When can I get that check?" Um, so yeah, but that's I don't I don't know. That's maybe she thought maybe she thought it wouldn't come back on her, because and that's another thing. People, be careful what you do online. Of course, she did this publicly on the police page, but I seen a post today, and I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say he's a rapper or something. Had been sending DM messages, and the FBI got host to it. Got a warrant for they could read his messages, and he went to jail for the PPP loan. So I'm like, why go through that? Do it the right way. Um, I'm trying to pull up his name. Um, uh, oh, okay. Um, so I guess it's actually a pretty Ricky rapper. Face federal charges for abusing PPP funds. Um, Allegedly, Diamond Blue Smith fraudulently obtained COVID relief fund and used them to purchase for Ferrari. How smart is that? Um, According to an unsealed complaint, Florida recording artist Diamond Blue Smith and others were arrested on federal charges for their alleged involvement in a fraudulent scam um, to obtain forgivable loan through the Paycheck Protection Program. Unfortunately, the program has been pledged by a sort of misuse at Mace Meeble. We understand how critical this relief is and want to help stop the fraudulent use of these loans. So he was arrested. Put like this: if somebody trying to reach out to you saying, "Hey, I can get you for that PPP loan, you don't have to pay it back," all of this, don't do it. It ain't worth it. Just like the terrorists that attacked Capitol Hill, it's not worth it because eventually you will get caught. You will get caught. No way of putting it. You will get caught because you have to go in there and even if you have a LLC or a corporation or whatever, your name's still tied to it. So they will catch you. So don't even do it. I've seen a video a couple of weeks ago, this sister on Instagram saying that she was doing hair out of her home, but she used someone else's license to do hair. Put it all in her sister's name. Now she facing charges. So it's not worth it. We've seen many people get arrested for taking advantage of this PPP loan. This loan is to help legit business that was struggling during the start of the pandemic. So please do not take advantage of it. It will come back and bite you. And you're talking about federal time. So whatever time they give you, you're going to receive that full time, day by day, especially if you're Black. I'm just saying, if you're Black, you're going to get the full time. Because with us, it's a different, they're going to call it fraud. Other folks, they may call it white collar crimes. Yep. So, and speaking of that, just kind of think about the terrorists that attacked Capitol Hill earlier this year. Look at the slap on the wrist they are getting. Had a grandmother got strictly probation. She received probation, talking about because she's a grandmother. She's 49. Give her the time she deserves. Then you have one we talked about last week, Michael Cruiser. He pled guilty, got sentenced to 6 months and 2 days. But since he was in jail for 6 months because of his background, first degree attempted murder on his ex-girlfriend, new boyfriend, he was given 6 months. Despite him joining a white supremacy gang while he was in jail. He was given 6 months. Then today, you have another one that was sentenced out of Florida. And it's like, really? It's like a slap on the wrist. Paul Hodgkins was sentenced to 8 months in prison. 8 months. He's a crane operator from Florida who breached the U.S. Senate chambers carrying a Trump campaign flag, was sentenced Monday to 8 months behind bars, the first punishment handed down for a felony charge in the January 6th riot, and one that could help determine the severity of other sentences in hundreds of pending cases. In pronouncing the sentence on Paul Hodgkins, U.S. District Judge Randolph Moss said the 38-year-old had played a role, if not as significant as others, in one of the worst episodes in American history. Those thousand of rioters loyal to then President Donald Trump stormed the Capitol and disrupted the certification of Joe Biden election win in a stunning display of public violence. Uh, that was not by any stretch a imaginary protest. Moss said it was an assault on democracy. He added, it left a stain that would remain on us, on the country for years to come. Moss acknowledged Hodgkins sentence could set a benchmark for the future cases, deciding the appropriate punishment for Hodgkins. He said was more challenging because the case is unique, and the court couldn't look to a previous sentence as a guideline. Hodgkins was disappointed. A prison term was imposed. His lawyer, Patrick Luter, said in a phone interview after Monday hearing, he said Hodgkinson was heading back to his hometown of Tampa to organize his affairs, which will include speaking to his employer about whether imprisonment will cost him his job. Before reporting to prison in several months, he's hurt, he's sad, Lucas said. Life is coming at him at 100 miles per hour. More than 500 people have been charged so far for their participation in the attack, and many, like Hodgkinson, were accused of serious crimes but were not indicted, as some others were, for roles in larger conspiracy. They will have to decide whether to plead guilty or go to trial. Moss interpreted Hodgkinson attorney to ask if granting the defense request to spare Hodgkinson from prison could encourage other disgruntled by results of future election to besiege the Capitol. If we allow people to storm the United States Capitol, what are we doing to preserve our democracy? Moss asked. But the judge said Hodgkinson deserved a lesser sentence than the 18-month prosecutor had requested, in part because he didn't assault anyone, didn't damage government property, and wasn't among the lead attackers. Hodgkinson apologized to the court and said he felt ashamed, speaking calmly, a prepared text. He described being caught up in the moment as he walked down Washington's most famous avenue, then followed a crowd of hundreds into the Capitol. If I had any idea that the protest would escalate the way it did, I would have never ventured further than the sidewalk of Pennsylvania Avenue. He told the judge. He added, this was a foolish decision on my part. He pled guilty last month to obstruction an official proceeding by participating in an attack that forced lawmakers to run and hide in fear. 5 people died, including a police officer and rider shot by police. 2 other police officers who faced January 6th rider died by suicide days later, and requesting an 18-month prison sentence during the hearing in Washington. Assistant U.S. Attorney Mona Siki likened the attack to domestic terrorism, which is true. Hodges' lawyer said the government description of the January 6th event was hyperbole. No, it was a terrorist attack. Call it like it is. Don't try to sugarcoat it. I think it is gaslight. It's gaslighting the country, he said. What happened, he added, was a protest that became a riot. Moss interrupted Luke again, noting that some of the Trump supporters seemed to be out to track down lawmakers, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. There were people who were storming through the halls of the Capitol saying, "Where's Nancy?" The judge told the attorney, "That is more than a simple riot." Circuit said that while Hodgkinson didn't engage in violence himself, he walked among many who did. in what she called the ransacking of the people house. And as he walked by, smashed police barriers, he told he could see the smoke of tear gas and the chaos ahead of him. What does he do? She asked the court. He walked toward it. He doesn't walk away. Hodgkins, she added, was in the midst of a mob that forced lawmakers to seek shelter, some congressional staffers to hide in fear, locked in office as hundreds swept through the building. Those in fear for their lives that day will, she said, bear emotional scars for many years, if not forever. So, under the June plea deal, Hodgkinson agreed to plead guilty to one count and pay $2,000 restoration to the Treasury Department. Now, I know that's long. I didn't even finish it all, but we have the point of it. He went there, and I'm kind of like that judge. You seen tear gas, you seen smoke, but you continue to walk. Stop babysitting these grown ass folks and give them the correct sentence. Stop giving them a slap on the wrist. We see the way this is going. This is actually one of those situations where this never should have happened. Talking about it was a riot that a protest that turned into a riot. No, this was a terrorist attack. Call it like it was. A terrorist attack. That's all it was. If that was, and they saying there's no other cases like this. In been cases of domestic terrorists. Who was that? Timothy McVeigh that blew up the federal building in Oklahoma City. That was a domestic terrorist. And guess what? He got life. He was executed. So yes, there been other cases. Call it like it is and give the justice, give the people, because we the ones that are going to have to pay for these damages. And they giving them a slap on the wrist. Call it just like it was. Because what's going to happen, and then you giving them time, you sentencing them, but now you taking their word that they're going to show back up. Well, guess what? When he was in Tampa, before this hearing, before the sentencing hearing, he should have got his affairs in order then. He should have talked with his job, and to be quite honest with him, once his job found out that he did a terrorist attack on Capitol Hill, he should have lost his job. Because the thing is, why are you showing them special privilege? I'm seeing this way too much. You get some of them that go out, able to go on vacation, family trips, after you did a terrorist attack on Capitol Hill, but you feel it was just a protest that got out of hand. No, call it like it is. Isn't that what y'all used to call Black Lives Matter? A terrorist group? Call it like it is. That was a terrorist attack. That's all that was. And it was pre-planned. It was pre-planned because Trump talked about it so much. Oh, January 6th going to be a day y'all would never forget. Call it like it was. It was a terrorist attack. Don't try to sugarcoat this to try to pull the wool over our eyes, make it seem like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Yes, it was bad. It was bad. Trying to overthrow our government. Call it like it is. Sentence them like they should be sentenced. Marcella said, I know this has nothing to do with topic, but do you know any Texas state police? Um, like a state trooper? Not right offhand. I do know several police officers, though. I know several police officers. Um, you ain't got in trouble? What's going on? Just kind of curious. I don't know a troop. At least I don't think I do. Now I don't know a trooper right offhand, but a state trooper, I don't know any. But I know several police officers. And so if it's something you need to talk about private, just hit me up. Oh, your friend car was stolen from Lake. Are they coming to Texas or what? If it was stolen, it should be across state line. They can run the tags and see. Should have a description of it. Your friend know who stole the car? Because it sounds like they may know who had the car. And if that's the case, they can always put it in a report and say where they going. Oh, only thing, if she made a report about it, only thing she have to do is let them know who stole it and let them know where he was heading. And they trust me, once you cross that state line or get close to that state line, they're gonna be waiting for it. Yeah, if she know who it is and where he's going. But the thing is, she filed those charges. She need to follow through everything. Make sure he's held accountable for it. But yeah, um, 5 days. Well, see, that's the key. She need to make sure she follow through. Who said that? Lake Charles Police or Beaumont Police? Because if both, she probably can call Beaumont Police Department and file it, let them know what's going on. If it was like a domestic violence or something. But if she file them, she need to follow all the way through with it. All the way up until going to court and get them sentenced. That's and they probably right. A lot of people probably do say, well, they end up dropping the charges. You do something to me, I don't care. I do not care. You violate me, I don't care what happened to you. Hey, you weren't concerned about me when you did it, so I'm not going to be concerned about what happened to you. That's the way I see it. I don't care who it is. If I trusted you enough and you break that trust and I end up having to get you steal from me or something, don't drop the soap. That's all I'm saying, because I'm going to press charges to the fullest. I don't care who you are. I do not care. You steal from me, I'm gonna press charges on you just like you're a stranger on the street. I would not care. So yeah, but yeah, she definitely need to. If the car was in Lake Charles, she should have filed it with Lake Charles Police Department. Filed the charges with them and let them do the report for the stolen car. And once they do the report, she could tell them where he supposedly was heading to, and then they'll reach out to Beaumont. Oh yeah, well, tell her come on down. tell her come on down, and she more than welcome to come on here and talk about it. Because my whole thing is the fact some people, they get in their feelings, and then they be like, oh, I don't want to file charges. I don't want to get them in trouble. And this goes for both ways, male and females. But mostly a lot of females do it. File the charges, hold him accountable, and leave him alone. Because if he's still in your car, there's no telling what else he would do. Need to leave him alone. Find your hero. Matter of fact, you can come on the show and do the speak on it with who you with, CurtDog dating game, and we'll find you somebody. Somebody who's not going to steal your car. So I understand Lake Charles is right over the bridge from Beaumont, but still, you should never take anything that don't belong to you. So I would tell her to file the police report in Lake Charles, since that's where the car was stolen. And then from there, let them know he's supposedly heading to Beaumont. And with him heading to Beaumont, they'll look for him. And I don't understand that. See, now, Marcellus, I'm about to throw a question out. And I don't know your friend, but this question is for everybody. If somebody you're dating decide to steal your car for whatever reason, would you stay with them? If they steal your car, your money, whatever it is, take your money, would you stay with them? I know for me, I wouldn't. Matter of fact, if a person lied to me, I'm gone. Because if you lie to me, you'll steal from me. That's my opinion. Marcella said that's what I told her. I don't judge nobody off of appearance, but he looked like a drug dealer. See? Okay. I don't understand why some people feel that they need a so-called bad boy. That's not going to do anything for you. You have to love yourself enough to not deal with it, because you having this bad boy, allegedly drug dealer. We don't know if he's one, but some people feel like, oh, he got money, he got this, he got that, and they want a bad boy. But what you fail to realize is, along with that bad boy come trouble. And with that trouble, you could get caught up in it. You could get caught up just for being in the car with him, just for being at his house, if he have one, or he's at your house. You can get caught up. So why would you want somebody like that? I'm just asking. And there's some female drug dealers out there too. There's some female characters out there that go harder than some guys do. So I'm just saying, either way, male or female, why stick with somebody that can put you in danger? You have to value yourself better than that. Lay down, write down what you want. I'm sure when you was growing up, you didn't write down and say, oh, I want to get married to a drug dealer. I want a drug dealer. I want a hoe. You didn't do all of that. So basically, don't lower your standard to make someone else happy. You gotta look past the point of what they have. How are they getting it? That's what you should ask. How are they getting it? Uh, he couldn't even keep a job. She had to get her car out the pound because he got arrested with drugs in the car. Young sister, report him, get your car back, leave him alone. Leave him alone. It's not worth it. Okay. In some cities, if somebody get caught with drugs in your car, they can keep your car. They can keep it. Leave him alone. It's not worth it. You have to value yourself more than just that. And that's some of the problems that a lot of young people look at. They take away the fact that, do this person really love me? A lot of people, and I was one of those people back in the days. A lot of people go and they're more concerned about the physical part of the relationship. The physical part in the 2 or 3 20s he have on top of but have on top and on the bottom of a bunch of warnings to make it seem like he's balling. They Some people love that, but that's not the lifestyle you want. Nothing good is going to come out of it. TCAT, welcome to the show. Look at my favorite guy, finally able to come in since I just made it home. Well, I'm glad you made it home safely. TCAT said, hey, everybody. Oh, hell no. I mean, and she had to bail him out. Young lady, cut him off. Cut him off. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. TCAT said, uh-oh. I see the note. Not today's shirt. It's on. It's going down. Yeah, because I'm like, hey, it's not worth it. And actually, this young lady or anybody that really want to discuss these issues, call in. Call in. I just asked, do not block your number. I'm not going to be calling you back, but call in. And you don't have to say your name, but we can discuss this because Uncle Kurt, though, we will talk about it. I know people that have got caught up in these type of situation, end up going to jail because uh, they felt that he loved them and they said it was their drugs. It ain't worth it. You had to pay to get your car out of pound, and normally when they take your car, it's already what, a couple of $100s to get it out. And if you didn't get it out before the next day, it costs you more money. So it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. And then on top of that, you had to pay to get him out of jail. No, I would have got my car out of pound. I would have left him there or her there. Either way, would have left him there. Cause no, I'm not. Okay, in case y'all don't know, I don't bail nobody out of jail. Don't do it. Uh, do not do it. Look, you have a better chance of calling somebody else than calling me. Because first of all, what you go to jail for? Ticket. Oh, you should have showed up to court. Mm-mm. Oh, they lied on me. Nope. You did something wrong. I don't bail nobody out of jail. I don't care who it is. I told my wife, and she was like, If I ever go to jail, would you bail me out? Nope. Gosh, that means you did something I had no idea what you did. So, no, I love you, but no, I don't do Sunday visits, and I don't bail people out of jail. Radio said I dated a girl who, anytime she ran into problem, would get hypnotized by hypnotized by her mother, and it went off my string, and go into her past lives to figure things out. That's how to get hypnotized. Yeah, that's crazy. I I'm not gonna say I've always been an innocent person, but I've never been to jail. Never been to jail. I no, I don't do jail. Mm-mm, can't do that one. So, but seriously, I'm sure it didn't work out, radio, because I'm like, look, you cannot be that. I hate to say sick, where you cannot remember the reason why you got in trouble. If it's alcohol, leave it alone. If it's drugs, shouldn't be taking them no way. Leave them alone. But I just don't know. It's just something about giving up my freedom, because that's a choice that we make. You're free, but then you go out and do something where somebody else control what you do and can't do. I just don't like that. So, but definitely, Marcellus, advise this young lady, please report it with Lake Charles Police, give them all the details they know, and go through with all the charges, all of them. Go to court, whatever the situation may be, because situation like this, it may start off with somebody stealing from you. They get away with that. Then next thing you know, it become a domestic violence situation where they want to put their hands on you. So yeah, get out of it now. I don't care how many times this dude say, I'm sorry, I never do it again. Get out of it. You have to take control of your life. And if somebody is in a domestic violence situation, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233, 1-800-799-7233, and get some help. Ask for some help. So, and if you, like I said, I'm very open. If you, my wife said I shouldn't put myself out there like that, but if um, if you go and need somebody to talk to, reach out to me. Reach out to me, and I'll try to find you some help. Um, Only if you are serious. Please, I don't have time to play games. So definitely reach out to me. T-Cal's talking about, now what if your wife was set up? You wouldn't jail her out, supposed to be bail out? It depends on the situation. It really depends on the situation. If she did something to get herself in there, mm-mm, mm-mm, nah, can't do it. Now here's the kicker to it. I even told my wife, I said, look, If I ever go to jail for anything, continue to live your life. Do not bail me out because I know if I did something, when I get out, we're gonna be set. So, um, but the thing is, I'm not gonna put myself in that situation. I'm not gonna put my wife in that situation where there's ever a chance for me to go to jail. So that's um, that's the way I look at it. But now, don't get me wrong. I love my wife. Probably after a couple of days, I'll probably be like, "Look, let me go down here and get a." Maybe she learned the lesson, but we're gonna have to have a serious discussion after because I'm not finna. Um, you keep going back and forward to jail. We got issues. Um, we have issues. I've helped bail some people out in the past, and then 3 or 4 months later, they call. Uh, can you bail me out? No, I can't do it. I can't. I'm not. You don't have the money? I sure do, but nah, I don't have money to throw away. So nah, I'm not gonna bail you out. You got to do your business a little bit different, and that's the way I look at it. Now, if it's one of those situations where my wife defending herself, um, that's completely different. Um, yeah, I'll bail out then. I'll be like, oh no. Um, and if I'm with her, we probably both finna go to jail. So, but the thing is, now I've had a situation. Now we'll be married 14 years this year, and what's crazy, this whole time I never, and I think I told this story before. Um, Never had any issues or anything like that. Never seen my wife get upset with someone. We're playing free poker one night, and when I got off the table, you know how people do start talking about certain folks, and somebody forgot where they didn't know or didn't care that my wife was sitting there because my wife's so quiet and innocent and sweet. Um, so my wife said, "Hey, that's my husband you're talking about." And the woman said, "I don't care." She said, "Look, please don't talk about my husband." And the woman asked her, "What you gonna do?" Now, this is what my wife told me, but I'm on the other side of the establishment. And while I'm over there, my back turned. All of a sudden, I heard, "Well, B, get up." I immediately stopped. I'm like, "Oh, whoa, what's going on?" So, um, so the woman boyfriend decided to stand up, and I told him, I said, "Look, you need to sit your ass on down. This is between these two ladies. Because if you get involved, I'm gonna get involved, and you don't want me to get involved." So he sat his ass on down, and once he sat down, um, we just said, "Forget it, we'll leave." But after that, they try to be nice to us. I let them tell them I don't fool with y'all. Um, but I didn't say fool with y'all. I said like Big Sean said it. But if you know Big Sean, you know what I'm saying. But after that, it was like, hey, nah, we don't play that. Because one thing about it, you're not finna disrespect me. You're not finna disrespect my wife. Um, Radio said there were two guys who had two wives and was raising two families without each of his wives knowing. I think that happened quite a bit back in the old days with radio. Um, yeah, there was two guys who had two wives and was raising two families without each of the wives knowing. That's called um, back in the old days. They always said some grandfathers. I'm not going to say. Uh, oh, well, I'm thinking you serious about it. Yeah, I get it now. You said there was a guy who had two wives and was raising two families without each of his wife knowing. Well, back in the days, in the old days, they always said, not my grandfather, but they always said, uh, Daddy had a second family around the corner. Um, when the kids was growing up, they was like, you don't need to date them. That's your family. And that's how that was said. But unfortunately, that have happened quite a bit. Not necessarily legally married, but it have been a lot of situations where daddy had some daddies, not all of them. Some daddies had a second family around the corner. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, but then again, that was just what they did. Matter of fact, radio. Here, I don't know what y'all numbers are doing up there, but I hear that Canada is planning on opening up in the middle of August. I think August the 9th or something like that, either the 9th or the middle of August or something, opening up the border to Americans. Have you heard anything about that? Just kind of curious. Uh, have you heard anything about y'all opening your borders back up, or what are your numbers like? Are they going up just like it is everywhere else, or have they settled down? I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but okay, so that's the plan. Okay, yeah, I got an alert on my phone talking about it. I'm like, all right, that'll be cool. Open back up. Um, open it back up and get some of that tourist money coming up in Canada. So are y'all numbers going back up with COVID? Have you been keeping up with it, or because I know our numbers have gone up quite a bit. Um, not sure where it's at today. Uh, let's see where it's at today. Um, okay, since Delta came out, have it gone up any? Because I know here in Texas, I think uh, yesterday we had 1,700 new cases. So they have gone up, and wait a minute, I thought I just seen that. Yeah, I did. Um, so they're going up and down. We have 1,746 new cases yesterday, and they're continue to rise. Just like in the Olympics, they're also having issues there too, where several players, I think they said it's up to 50 players, athletes have actually tested positive for the Olympics. And the question is will the Olympics still happen? Because it seems like every day the Olympics is numbers are going up. What's going on, Michael? Radio said Canada is 71% vaccinated. Not us. um, uh, Michael said Canada is cool. It sounds like it's pretty cool. I'm like I told you before. I want to take a trip up there. And that's a trip my wife would like to make, and so we're trying to play it out. But hopefully, we don't get shut down here soon. But right now, the virus is still going pretty good. It's they're saying it's going to be around for a while because a lot of people, because of the lies that was told with the last administration, um, a lot of people believe it's fake. A lot of people don't want to get the vaccine. That's your choice, but if we're all not on board, and like I said last night, I was one of those at first. I was like, look, I'm not getting this vaccine. I'm not doing that. But as I looked into it, with all the people that have had the vaccine, and now these new variants coming out, it's like, hey, uh, that's kind of scary. It's very scary. Even some people who have gotten the vaccine are still getting infected. So that's scary also, because here it is. We don't know enough about this virus. We don't know enough about this vaccine, but it's supposed to make it easier if you do test positive. T-Cal said, wow, 71, that's awesome. Yeah, it is. Radio said COVID will probably keep going down and then spiking for a long time. Yet, yeah. For us, it went down. They rushed to open everything back up, and then all of a sudden, uh, went back up. And matter of fact, pediatrician saying that kids should wear masks at school. Oh, and they talking about Canada reopening. Um, so I think that would be cool. Um, but we still need to protect ourselves. I don't care who you are, what you believe in. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. I see a lot of people talking about uh they look at me crazy when I go somewhere and I have two different masks on. The difference is COVID is not a political statement here. No, it's not. And here, Trump made it one because he kept saying it was fake. It's not real. He made it one. That's why people are feeling the way they do. Matter of fact, it was a nurse. I seen the story last week. A nurse in Louisiana, I believe, and she was tweeting all the time, talking about um, how fake, uh, how fake this was. This virus is fake, and all of this. And I think last week or the week before, it came out that she passed away from the virus, and she's a nurse. So it's kind of like, Marcella said, I'm honestly afraid of the vaccine, but I know I need it. I look at this. I did not want to take it at first. I did not want to take it at first, but I said, you know what? Looking at the situation with the things I've dealt with over the last couple of years, I said, I'm going to go ahead and take it. Once my doctor cleared me of taking it, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take it and roll with it. Because the thing is, you never know. You don't know who you coming in contact with. You really don't know. Okay, Michael, we started off good, but okay. Yeah, you're right. Nobody knew the scale of it, but I really feel that if Trump would have left that team, um, would have left that team in place, we probably would be out of it by now because they could have got ahead of it before it got here. So I feel that was one of the worst things he could have ever done. And I was going, uh, so yeah, I feel that if Trump would have left that team in place, we would be so much further ahead. They would not have had to uh, try to rush and get a vaccine. Um, I was going to say how that at work, how that work out for until you said she died. My bad, so sad. The other lady passed away um, after she talked, kept denying it, saying it was all fake, and she was a registered nurse. So that was crazy. I remember in December 2019, it was reported COVID had already killed more people than Ebola in 2020. I would assume you're talking about 2020, right? Um, yeah, it have. It killed more American than it did with Ebola. And Ebola, it wasn't that many people that died from it from the US. And matter of fact, here in Dallas, at I want to say was it Baylor Hospital here in Dallas? Several nurses had actually got infected by it, and I think it was at least three of them that survived Ebola. Now, of course, um, it became a major headline news because if someone, uh, okay, in 2019, uh, uh, yeah, yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. I'm thinking last year. You're right because it was reported that uh, um, COVID actually started like in November 2019 or somewhere around that time. Uh, yeah, you're right. And that was before we found out exactly what was going on. So you are right. That's my bad. Like I say, if I make a mistake on here, I have no problem correcting myself. So um, Radio said November 2019, this was at the start of the pandemic. The COVID number had just passed 3,000 cases worldwide. Yeah, yeah, because I'm thinking we've been in it since we technically didn't find out to March, but it actually started like in November of 2019, and we've been in it that long. So and allegedly Trump knew about it back in November 2019, and he didn't really come out about it to March to tell us about it. Hmm, that's not a shocker, but yeah, yeah, you're right. Um, so yeah, what you were saying, T. Cal, about the young lady, um, it was pretty. I'm gonna see if I can pull it out. Uh, uh, so this young lady was in. Um, Out of Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Um, okay, that's it. That's trying to find it. I want to say she was out of Louisiana because I actually went to a Twitter page to kind of see what was going on, and yeah, she had a lot of stuff on there, and I cannot think of her name. Um, okay, she was out of Lafayette. This happened 8 days ago. Uh, oh shoot, I hate when I go somewhere and they want you to sign up for them or pay for a service. They saying that Olivia Goudron, Lafayette ER nurse, dies of COVID-19. In Lafayette, Louisiana, died from complication from it because she didn't believe it was real. And unfortunately, it's a lot of people that, um, and that's what they're dealing with now. Um, that's what they're dealing with now with social media. A lot of people put out so much fake stuff and conspiracy on social media. It's hard to know what's real and what's not real. That's why I take the time out and research things. And unfortunately, this young lady lost her life from it, and it shouldn't have been that way. But unfortunately, that's the time that we're in when we're dealing with conspiracy. These are the type of things that happen, and people so quick uh, to listen to what someone say instead of doing the research. And that's why I love my pastor so much, because even though he knows the Bible, but he also tell you, I want you to do your own research on it, but you know for sure I'm giving you the right message. So uh, so that's the way it is. Radio said it comes out that Trump was a lot sicker than what they let on when he was in the hospital. I'm not surprised. I I know I know a lot of people, and some of them are like, "Oh, I hope he die." I'm different. I'm like, no, I hope he survived, and hopefully he will wake up and come out and give a testimony, have a change of heart about it. But I don't know why I thought that about Trump. I don't know. Maybe I was drinking or something that day. I don't know. But I never should have believed that about Trump. No way. But yeah. So either way, regardless of where you are, please protect yourself. Wear your mask. I know how easily you could go pull up at the store. I'm gonna run in here real quick, grab this, grab that, and I don't have to wear my mask. That's your choice if you want to wear your mask. But just like LA County have a mask mandate, I said last night, I feel like Texas will be one of the states that will be the last one to do it because of our governor, uh, piece of a governor that we have. Trump only think of himself, but he made his base believer he cares about them. That's brainwash. I look at it as if you allow someone to manipulate your mind, and it shouldn't be like that. You have to think for yourself. If you don't, it's going to be an issue. Unfortunately, kind of like what I was saying about the young lady. And I'm not talking about her in general, but some people feel like they cannot do without a person because of the way they make them feel. They overlook the fact that this person dogged you out. And I'm talking about male and females. Overlook, they dog you out. And they have to realize that, hey, I have to love myself first. Have to. You always love yourself first. And do it like that. Marcella said, Trump said, we're going to march down the Capitol. And after that, he got in the car and went back to the White House to watch them commit treason. You're right. You're right. And he definitely did. And I was thinking today when I heard about these 8 months they gave this young man today. And I started thinking, I'm like, is that why Trump wanted to add the judge on the Supreme Court? Getting all these judges in position for when this happened, they can get them off or give them a slap on the wrist. I'm like, and for them to say no one, they never had to deal with a case like this. We've had attempt terrorist attack happen before. Treat them just like you would any other terrorist. That's all I'm saying. The guy had made a choice. He went into the Capitol Hill. He seen the tear gas, seen the smoke, seen the crowd, seen the damage that was being done. And with all that being done, they turn around. He's still going there. And they said allegedly he stayed in there for 15 minutes. But just because somebody else go in there and you decide to go in there, even though you're not the one that caused the damage, but you went in there, you're still guilty. Because it may be some things you did that the camera's going to catch, like in the stairwells. I'm just saying. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. A congested bias where people overestimate their own knowledge or expertise in a certain field. Yeah. I have to try to read it up on this monitor up here because on the stream, when I have it displayed, I can't see it. And so I'm got a box about this big I'm trying to read. um, so I'm like, all right, yeah, you're right. Some people just cannot think for themselves, and unfortunately, um, I've never been that way. I like I said, I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. Um, but some people they will um, they will try to convince you, oh, you should follow me. Um, you should follow me, and uh, and everything will be okay. But as soon as the mess hit the fan, they forget about you. They forget about you. I'm like this. I don't care who it is. I don't care what they did. they step foot inside there, they should be found guilty. They should be held responsible. Um, we are working on some things coming up in the near future. Um, we're going to be making some changes to the show here pretty soon. And we're trying to work out all the details. It's going to be, I feel like it will be beneficial. Um, and we're still looking for people that would like to be on the panel, regardless of where you are. Um, you can still be a part of it. One thing about it, I know that as long as we're speaking truth, everybody have their own opinion, but it must be truthful. Um, we're not gonna do conspiracy theory, nothing like that. But we're always looking at trying to add a panel where we can have a full discussion and do that. So we're working on that behind the scene. And as soon as we get it together, hopefully by next month, you'll see the difference in it and do a lot more things, a lot of more participation. So um, so that's something that we're working on behind the scene. And as soon as we get it together, I will share the information with you. I'm telling you ahead of time because I don't want y'all to be surprised. Oh, we didn't know. Well, I'm letting you know now. There will be some changes coming up. Haven't decided exactly what part just yet, but we are making changes on the back end. And Miss Risky will be back Thursday. Um, Text her all weekend. She's feeling better, um, back to her old self, and she doing better. So she can't wait to be here on Thursday. So other than that, I appreciate everybody that tune in. Please, everyone, like, share, uh, click the notification, subscribe, whatever platform you on, do what you have to do, for you can know whenever we come live, because you do not want to miss the things we have coming up in the future. And other than that, I will see y'all tomorrow night if the good Lord say the same. I love each and every one of you. Until then, peace.